And a blessed good morning to you, and welcome to our new week, a week that began with much needed showers. I trust that you enjoyed the showers yesterday and that you are looking forward to cooler temperatures, although we are told that we're going to be having some really high temperatures. Let's just hope that the good Lord brings us some showers as well to in some way bring those showers to be in a way helping to sort of mitigate the hot weather that we are asked to expect. This week we will be focusing again to some degree on that whole idea of who am I? We'll be focusing on it from the perspective of, do you know who I am? And do I know who I am? Two very important questions that I would like us to spend some time reflecting on during the course of this week. Do you know who I am? Do I know who I am? We also reminding you and informing you that we have now been ready now to fully advertise our retreat and workshop on the Enneagram, the Path to Purpose retreat and workshop, and you can get information on it, prices, etc., the content on clf-retreat.my.canva.site. If you can take that down, you can go there and you can see the various prices. The early bird discount is also available, and we look forward to your signing up. For those who desirous of staying in, the numbers are limited because the Nikki is a small resort, and so you would have to register early. Opportunities for us to have different options. Option of being able to have your own room, or sharing a room with one friend, or maybe two friends. We've got a price in there for two persons sharing a room, but if there's a small group of you, good buddies that would like to be together, we can arrange a different price, and you can give us a call or email at info@contemplativelife.net, and we can talk with that. Early bird discounts have some time-related aspects to them, various particular dates when you need to do things by, so you can benefit from the various discounts. So looking forward to your participation, and let us continue this journey of learning together, of growing together, of finding purpose for our lives. And with that said, we come now again to our time of reflection and inner stillness, where we want to in some way find meaning for our lives, and to be able to use this time to bring about that important dimension of our journey, the dimension of simply being with the divine and being open to all that God has in store for us. So we come now into this space, and we allow ourselves the opportunity to breathe and reflect. Be still and know that I am God. So we make ourselves comfortable, coming into that quiet space within us. Coming to an understanding of who we are. Trusting in our knowing. Really seeking to be open as we breathe in, going in and down with a spirit of gratitude. Allow your heart to be filled with gratitude. Gratitude for this day, gratitude for those who are journeying with us. We are thankful. And we look within us and we see that vastness that we are, that eternal nature. We notice that we are more than this physical body. We notice that there's more to ourselves than we really know. Just allow yourself to feel the presence that you are. Feel the inner warmth. Feel the peace. A peace that is there always beneath all our turmoil and anxiety. That peace that is forever calling us home, trying to help us to remember that there's no need for us to live on the edge, in a state of anxiety or fear. And there's another way of being, a way that reunites us with our true self, a way that brings us into the divine presence and holds us there. Allow yourself to be there, to feel what that's like as we listen to these words. The kingdom of heaven is like treasure hidden in a field. When a man found it, he hid it again, and then in his joy went and sold all he had and bought that field. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like a merchant looking for fine pearls. When he found one of great value, he went away and sold everything he had and bought it. Once again, the kingdom of heaven is like a net that was let down into the lake and caught all kinds of fish. When it was full, the fishermen pulled it up on the shore. Then they sat down and collected the good fish in baskets, but threw the bad away. This is how it will be at the end of the age. The angels will come and separate the wicked from the righteous and throw them into the blazing furnace, where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Have you understood these things? Jesus asks. As I was reflecting on our theme for this week, do you know who I am? And do I know who I am? This theme came to me as I reflected on the readings from last Sunday or yesterday, where Jesus found himself confronted with persons who didn't think that it was important to heal a man because it was the Sabbath day. There is such a sense in our world when you take some time to reflect on our journey and on some of the things that we take for granted. And one of the things that I've noticed more and more is the ways in which the individual has gotten lost in our world. The person, the self. We have bought into systems that, in a sense, just perceive us as statistics. We're just numbers. We make up numbers. I recall once being in a presentation, and the individual who was delivering the presentation said a really troubling thing. He was speaking to persons in leadership positions in churches, and he said that, we don't really have an interest in people. We have an interest in numbers. And I've reflected on that for some time now. We have an interest not in people, but in numbers. when I reflected on the passage yesterday, and I saw that persons were more interested in maintaining a particular rule than having the opportunity to bring healing to a person. And yes, there's another text where the leaders tell the people that they should come some other day for healing, but not the Sabbath. When I reflect on all that, you can't help but notice how we don't seem to see persons as of great value. We see systems, traditions, customs as of great value. We see things as of great value. And one of the important things for me as a Caribbean person is to really recognize how this happens, especially given our history, especially as persons from the African diaspora, where our ancestors were not valued, not in terms of their personhood. They were valued in terms of them being commodities. And so it is really important for us within the context of the Caribbean, on all sides, all races, all ethnic groups, to really be mindful of this important reality of valuing persons. Do you know who I am? Do I know who I am? So oftentimes I define myself based on what I think you want me to be. And so you don't really know me because you are more concerned perhaps with what I can do for you. But you don't know me. We see it in our business places where employees in recent times aren't really known. They're just commodities there to perform a task. And you realize it when, on occasion, for some reason, staff numbers are reduced. And you find that the work doesn't reduce. The work increases. The pay doesn't increase, but the demand increases. And you sit there at times and you wonder, well, when 2 or 3 persons were doing this job, they had this amount of work to do. Now, it's only my one, and I still have this same amount of work to do. Do we really know who the other is? Are we interested in who the other is? Am I interested in who I am? Because so often than not, we are as much to blame as anyone else. Because if I don't value myself, then I allow you to undervalue me. The scripture today talks about persons finding important things and going off and selling all that they have just to get that thing of importance. That thing of importance. When will we see persons as important? When will we begin to treat ourselves as important? Not more important than anybody else, but just important. When will we realize that this world has been created for us? We were not created for the world. Each one of us has to take some time and begin to value yourself, to see who you really are and to remember who you really are. Who am I? Who are you? Ask ourselves these questions. Who am I? Am I just this thing here that will be around for a short time and then no longer exists? Or am I of far greater stuff? Who am I? If I remember who I am, then I will know who you are. We need to awaken to this. Because we're coming to an age where if we don't awaken, it will become worse. We have AI right around the corner. We don't know what that will mean for us. But we are heading towards something that may very well see the demise, as it were, of humanity. If we continue to stay asleep and allow ourselves to be just a number, a commodity. Because if I am a commodity, I can be replaced by another commodity. It doesn't matter. Remember, there were jobs in the fields. And yes, many people moved away from the fields. It was hard work. But those jobs are replaced now by machinery that reaps the same fields that were reaped by human beings for many, many decades. Machines are there, and we continue to see the value in the machine over the value of the individual. We continue this. Why? Because we have spent most of our time exploring that which is outside of ourselves, and so little time getting to actually know who we are. And because of that, we find that what we consider of great value is not the human that is working and creating and inventing, but what we see of value is that which the human has created. Are we really aware of what's going on among us? Do we really understand? Who are you? Do you know who you are? Do you know who I am? Do I know who I am? These are important questions that we need to ask ourselves. And the sooner we ask them, and the sooner we have an answer for, the better it will be for us. Things can never outvalue persons. There isn't a job There isn't a position, there isn't any state in this world that is more valuable than the child of God that you are, the eternal being that you are, the manifestation of the one source that you are.